Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel or IGTV, wherever you're seeing this. So today I have a special guest. My father, he is a Pan-Africanist, believes in the African tradition, is also a traditional, is a spiritualist?
I'm a spiritualist.
Okay.
Traditionalist, spiritualist, all the same for me.
Okay, so he's the author of When Reason is on Vacation. That was the first book I read that blew my mind, and the day I started reading the first 2 pages of the book. This was 2016. I decided to stop going to church, and I was like, no more church. The book was mind-blowing, and I urge you guys to really check the book out, When Reason is on Vacation. So today I have him here. We're going to be talking about Endsars, how bad is the Nigerian government, literally everything governing Endsars and the Nigerian economy and the Nigeria government. So, do you want to introduce yourself better than I did?
I'm Emokpae Odigie, a Pan-Africanist, a spiritualist for that matter. And I actually authored the book When Reason is on Vacation, so dealing with superstition in Africa generally. And my hope is that if you go through it, you are likely going to find out that it becomes very easy for you to establish facts by evidence. That is what the book is about. Whatever fact you think you want to present to anyone, get the evidence. The evidence will lead anyone to that fact. Without that, no society ever moves. Modern societies are based on science and technology. It's not based on religion. It's not based on, superstition. It's all based on science and religion. I mean, science and technology. Something that you can actually establish as a fact. But well, as time goes on, we can start talking about all others.
That's very good. You did a better introduction than I did. So I want to ask, what do you think about this Endsars movement back in Nigeria?
The Nigerian society is actually stagnated. Stagnated because we have myriad of different ethnic nationalities that are very suspicious of one another. And then we have a conservative north because of Islam who do not wish to be like all other nations. I still wonder why Nigerian political leadership would not take a look at South Korea, Singapore, China, and all others who are not even religious. China is known today to be bulldozing in the whole world and striving to become the #1 economic power in the world.
Are they not the #1 already?
Yeah, some say they are, but some others still say no, America is still the #1. But whatever it is, China has been able to arrive at this level. They don't believe in religion in the very first place. They don't believe in God. The only religion they think many people think they have is Buddhism, which is in southern part of China.
So isn't that a religion though?
It's a religion. Buddhism is a religion, but it is those who practice or who believe in that religion are in the center part of China. They are not up to 10% of the total population of China. So the entire population of China is confused. They believe in the philosophy of Confucius, one philosopher who lived about 2,500 years ago, long gone before the birth of Christ. So they follow his philosophies, principles, and all that. So they don't actually believe in any form of God. And yet, China has been able to reach the level they are, this enviable position they are in the world today. So why are Nigerian political leadership not looking at how China has been able to achieve this, and then struggle as much as possible with all principles and philosophy, to enhance our economy so that you don't have a restive youth. What we have in Nigeria presently is a restive youth that are not employed. They don't have a future. They don't know where they are going. Many people queue at the embassies, different embassies in Nigeria, to want to go out, and we all know how many have drowned in the Mediterranean because they want to cross Europe and all that. Yes. So if the Nigerian political leadership is actually serious and they sit back and say, what shall we do to enhance the economy back home so that we keep these people at home? I don't think Endsars will be will have a platform to act. But as it is now, there's frustration everywhere, and the youths want the government to sit up. That is the meaning of Endsars, because they were actually brutalized by the institutions of the state, the police in particular, and then nothing seemed to be working. And this boys now felt, the best bet was to come out and show into the whole world that they are disgusted with what is happening in Nigeria. That's what Endsars is about. It's not about any other thing. They don't want to dethrone the government. All they want is good governance. That's the way I look at the boys.
Okay. When you say restive here, do you not think there's a nuances between restive and actually being oppressed by the government? Because I feel like a lot of youth who find that word offensive, they're like, okay, like we want to do something, but the government is not allowing us to do something or be better.
Yes, so, that's why they are restive. Restive because they are frustrated. Okay. They want to achieve certain things. They want to see certain things happening, even in their own lifetime. Even though they know it's not been there all along. But if it is happening, if the foundation has been laid in their own lifetime, and they now say, maybe in the next 10, 20 years, Nigeria would have reached that level where they will have this economic leverage for everybody, at least majority of the people within that entity called Nigeria. There will be restiveness. The restiveness exists because they are frustrated. They don't achieve this, and they have not even seen any sign that the government is making any change, and that's why.
So tell me about it. Do you think it's left for Nigerian youth to actually make the change? Let's say that's taking the revolution, like the rule of the French Revolution, that's during the Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette, before the birth of Napoleon Bonaparte. Do you not feel like we should go down that same route as well, or we should dethrone, which is also the revolution, dethrone the government, or we should let them stay and keep protesting? Do you think there's changes going to changes are going to be made by this protesting?
In all societies, change comes by two principles. One is evolution or a revolution. When evolution is truncated and the smooth change or from state to stage of any movement doesn't happen, then there is bound to be a radical change, and that radical change is what we call revolution. I don't fear revolution. A lot of people have hatred for revolution. We all know what revolution has done across history. Revolution has we had technological revolution, industrial revolution, political revolution, we have economic revolution, in different kinds of, even economic revolution, agricultural revolution, sporting revolution. But as soon as it comes to political revolution, there's always a problem because of the status quo. There are these people who sit at the helms of affairs, just believe that it is wrong for a revolution to happen. What is a revolution? A revolution is doing things drastically different from what has been happening before. That is the aim. It's nothing. There's nothing bad about it. If the Nigerian political leadership will allow evolution to take place gradually, then we will get there. Nobody will bother about revolution. But when it is not happening, there is bound to be a revolution. So I don't see anything wrong in the Endsars calling for a revolution. They didn't, apart from Showore, who calls for a revolution. The Endsars boys didn't call for a revolution. But even if they did, are we happy in Nigeria today, seeing what is happening, looking at other nations, what they are doing? Even India, as poor as India has been able to launch their own first man into space by aircraft or spacecraft made by them. Well, the Indians are not better than Africans. Better than Nigerians. Why are we not achieving this? The government is not achieving anything on behalf of everybody. We have a president who is just sitting there now. He cannot even attend the interview. He can't pick questions from the press.
There's this what's the word? There's this conspiracy theory that Buhari is dead.
No. I don't believe in that. He's not dead. But the truth is that this man is mentally retardated because of senile psychosis. As a result of age, he has become, suffering from dementia, and because he's suffering from dementia, he can no longer function properly. And because it's not functioning properly, that is why he cannot come to the press and answer questions. He did one in 2019 when he went to United Nations conference. All the heads of state were sitting. I think it was Christiana Anapo of the CNN that was interviewing them.
Yeah.
They asked a question about security in Nigeria. All Buhari just did, he just brought out a script from his pocket and just started reading. What he was reading was completely different from the question that was asked. So it just shows that he can't face the press, he can't answer questions because he's suffering from dementia. But those cabals, those people around him who want to keep their job at the expense of the development in Nigeria, they are the one pretending that everything is well with the man. And so they continue to manage him. He doesn't go visit anybody, doesn't come to any conference. Anytime he comes out, is to come and read a script and then withdraws. So he is the person there. So Ori has even alluded to it, that he is the person there. That this IPOP leader, Kanu, probably he just wants to gain something by portraying him as Jubriel Sudanese. Even the Kanu has said that it is no longer Ed Jubril Sudanese there now, is Aisha's boyfriend that is there. The whole thing looks bizarre as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
He is not functioning well. That is what I believe in.
Okay.
And they are trying to manage him to keep their job till 2023. And within this period, the entire country is stagnating. Insecurity in the country is because the man is not there actively holding on, and dealing decisively with what is happening. It is just because he's not fit mentally. That is the truth.
So what do you think we can do, especially with the youth? Because at this stage, I think it's left for we youth now to do something. People of your age, that's your generation, they are probably too tired to pick up the mantle and take this revolution up. So how can the youth take this revolution up?
I said it before. It is either by evolution or by revolution. If you talk of revolution, it's going to be very difficult in Nigeria because the northern youths will not support. That is always a fact because they feel it's their time. Unless probably a certain president is there, you talk of a revolution, then they must support. But to go back to my suggestion that I suggested something to some guys the other day. I said there is one way the youths can do things.
Okay.
I'm at 65 now. I don't hope to rule Nigeria. I don't hope to be a governor or anything. But I can always encourage the next generation to do things properly. What the Nigerian youth should do is simple. Adopt one political party. It could be PROP, that Aminu Kano's redemption. People's Redemption Party, the one he formed in those days, he's still there, but Aminu Kano had a symbol of the simplest politician that I've seen in that country. Yeah. He was completely humble. He never acquired wealth. They said he died with 2 kobo in his account, left in his account. Wow. That's how humble he was. When he earned this money, he brought it down to the Talakawa. So a political party like People's Redemption Party, PROP, can be adopted by all the Nigerian youths who engage themselves in that Endsars struggle. Yeah. If they come together and adopt that political party and ensure that no person beyond 45 will be a candidate for that political party, every one of them should be below 45. So if they are 45, they now know that this is our own political party. We are not going to effect a change that will make a lot of sense, and a lot of Nigerian youths will embrace it. That's one. Mm-hmm. 2, what they will do when they get there is another thing. They must consider restructuring in that country in such a way that each of the states can control their own destiny, their own mineral resources, their own economy, pay tax to the federal government as it was before 1966 February coup. That was how Awolowo in his, the great sage Awolowo was able to use even cocoa money, use it to advance development in Western region. And do you know that television, Awolowo brought television to Western region in Nigeria before the Republic of Ireland. Oof. So these are people who had vision. Yeah. The man had a lot of vision for them. But the unfortunate thing again, the British did not like him because they knew they couldn't control him. anybody the British could control, they know that they'll be able to have access to the mineral resources. And that was why they didn't support Biafra. They supported the federal government led by the Northerners. And the Northerners have always been very submissive to the British. And that is one of the basic problems that we have in that country. So if they if they adopt a political party, adopt one political party, come to them, they must consider that restructuring. Let each state, each unit develop at their own pace, so that at the end of it all, the federal government will not be attractive to indigenous. If you can achieve what you were going for at the federal level within your own state, you wouldn't have business with Abuja. Abuja will become less attractive, and the state will become more attractive. And then again, we're talking of state police. State police is, if a governor cannot control a police commissioner, then which means he has no control over the security in the state. So it's just an ordinary paper that, he is the chief security of the state, when he can't sack a commissioner. The commissioner is answerable to Abuja. It's not answerable to the state. This is a new. So if whatever the youths want to do, if they come in, let them do everything possible to consider restructuring after they have captured power. That, for me, is the solution.
I love that idea. That's such a powerful idea. You were saying PRP, that's Aminu Kano Party.
Yes.
He's late now.
He's late, yeah.
What is the guarantee that the people who are running the party are not infected as those in APC and PDP? What is the guarantee that if Nigerian youth get there, they would not be worse than the current leader we have, or impotent?
But it becomes very difficult to predict. We don't have a horoscope to see whoever is going to be good when it gets there. But the point is, if you have a platform like the PROP and the image of Aminu Kano is always there as a reminder to the youths. We adopted this political party because we want to solve this problem of the country. You keep reminding them, maybe that one can help. But if anybody is going to betray that trust, there's nothing we can do until he betrays. I mean, we can't know who will do that until he gets there.
Yeah, is that a way to say, like, if you study human nature, you can tell who is a fraud, who is a greedy person? That's when you study human nature. Because I believe, like, I'm a student of human nature, right? And the books I've been reading on human nature, it says like there are people who show who they are. You see those signs, in the way people talk to others, the way people, behave, especially when they get little power. So it's not up to we Africans, especially we Nigerians now, to study and understand human nature so that we will be very cautious here of who we handle power to. We'll be able to study all the candidates, put them under the microscope here, study all of them, and know who is fit to rule. Not just trial and error, because that's what we've been doing for the past 40 years now. We've been doing trial and error, APC, PDP, and we've been making the same mistakes. Do you not feel like we can try a different route by studying human nature and then putting every candidate under the microscope so we can study them before giving power onto anyone? Do you think that's a possible?
The difficulty here is this: we are talking of youths below 45. I would have even said below 40. The unfortunate thing is that politicians who eventually come up and hold positions that we are thinking of politically, these are people who have not been tested. We don't know that. It is only within the political party that they'll be able to know who is who. How? Because within the political parties, you should be able to know one who had been a fraudster. Maybe he worked in one ministry, he worked in one company, he defrauded them. But we ordinary people who do not know them cannot, we can't say anything. So it is going to be the duty of the political party, is that the PROP, to select people with non-questionable character to come up and deliver the dividends of democracy to all of us. But that we can know them now, no, it's difficult. We don't know them until they come up. As we've not heard, if you talk of someone like Kano now, I think Kano is close to 50, if not more than that. I can say I cannot vote for somebody like Kano because I already know his antecedents. Here is a man who was fighting for the Republic of Biafra. Then he was imprisoned for almost 2 years. Then he was freed. All the 5 Igbo governors called him to a dinner. Each of them called him to a dinner.
Okay.
And shortly after that, this man started portraying himself as an emperor, sitting on an emperor chair, and then using his walking stick to bless people. He has shown you that he's not going to be completely different from these dictators like Idi Amin, like Mobutu, like Abacha. He's not going to be different from them. He has shown it already. So if you go to appoint or elect a man like that, we are done, because we already know him.
Yeah.
But those others that are not yet known, they are going to be very difficult for us to determine. It's going to be difficult for us to determine their character because we don't yet know them. But it is now it will then be the duty of the political party to ensure that those who are going to be go through the primaries have pious character that Nigerians can vote for when they eventually arrive. That's the
so
only way.
We literally have to test them first with little power before giving them the bigger
there's
power.
no way we can test them with power. First, within the political party, they should select them, bring them up, and then when they are elected, we start watching them. That's the only way. There's no way we can know if they are going to be good, if they are going to betray the trust or not. There's no way we can know that. So, but if the political party do their job very well, they'll be able to know who to select, who to allow to contest the primaries within their political party to represent that party in the general election.
And is it possible for Nigerians to remove a sitting president or a sitting government official in office?
Yeah, they've done it before. It happened in the Second Republic in Kaduna State. Balarabe Musa was actually a PROP governor. But the House of Assembly in Kaduna was dominated by MPN, an opposition political party. And so when he didn't play ball with them, all the commissioners he brought, they rejected them. And then he didn't cooperate with them. And then within a space of 6 months, they impeached him. So
so he got impeached because he did not.
It was not as if he committed any kind of crime, but because he was in the opposition party, his PROP didn't have majority in the House of Assembly. It was controlled. The House of Assembly was controlled by the opposition party MPN, and so they used that leverage, to remove him from that. So it's possible to impeach. But where the problem is that, if at the federal level, like Abuja, it's going to be very difficult to impeach anybody because of the crisis that it will eventually erupt. The other ethnic group that he belongs to will always feel sustained, even if it is Yoruba, Igbo, South, or Middle Belt, or anything. It will always create a problem. But within the constitution, by the constitution of Nigeria, any president can be impeached. Buhari can be impeached. But
so why are we not doing it then?
And we're not doing it because we have many loyalists who are Northerners, not in the House of Representatives and the Senate. The Northerners are more. So they don't want a situation where they will remove their own and a Southerner will come in there. You see, this is where the problem is, because in Nigeria, you have a situation where the president from the north, then the vice president must come from the south. If the reverse is the case, the president is from the south, the vice president must come. So that problem is always there. So the difficulty is that if you remove this president, the other people will feel that they are removing their own and you are bringing in their own. That's why we say the entire country is not united. Nigeria is not a nation. It's just a geographical expression, as Awolowo once described. We are not a nation. It's a conglomerate of many different, diverse ethnic nationalities. So that is why we have this problem. Whereas if we are to break into about 6 nations today, it will be very easy to impeach a Yoruba president who is not behaving well. The Arewa people to be able to impeach an Hausa Fulani man who is not behaving well, the Igbos could do it. But as it is now, it's very difficult because almost every person is first and foremost loyal to their ethnic nationality, than for Nigeria as a nation.
So would you say you're an advocate for for Nigerian splitting up into different parts?
No, I don't. I wouldn't prefer the split up. I would prefer the restructuring, as it were, in the before the pre-1966 January coup, where the different regions were able to advance economically, culturally on their own, and then just pay tax on the federal government. I prefer that. But if that is not going to be possible, then breakup is inevitable. I wouldn't say we should continue in this quagmire of stagnation, all because we want to keep one nation.
So if we're to break up, how long in how many years do you see that happening?
We don't know. It depends on the event that takes shape. First, people were afraid in 2015 that the country will break up because they felt that probably if PDP loses the election, they wouldn't hand over. But Jonathan saved the neck of everybody by submitting and congratulating Buhari even before the last state, the result of the last state was announced. And we crossed that. And okay, then we are now looking at 2023 again. 2023, there's the fear that PDP is not in power now. PDP has a right to produce anybody from anywhere. They can say they want a northern a northern president. And if they bring in a northern president, we are not going to have a situation where Buhari was there for 8 years, and not the northern president is going to come for another 8 years. That's the anxiety that will eventually come up. Whereas a large chunk of people now feel it is time for the Igbos to present, at least to solidify the entire country. To solidify the interest and loyalty of everybody in the country. But we don't know what the PDP is going to do. There are a lot of ambitious presidential candidates from the north in PDP. The APC has a lot of crisis now. We don't know how it's going to, what is going to be the outcome, because a large chunk of, like me, I don't like Tinubu. If Tinubu becomes the presidential candidate of APC, I wouldn't.
But he's not too old to rule, though, because Tinubu has been in power since I was a baby. It's not too old to rule.
It's not about old age. But Joe Biden is about 78 years. He's 78 years.
That's because we didn't have a younger candidate. We have Showore.
We have Showore. See, the age doesn't really matter. It is the antecedent. If I have somebody like Sanusi, the former president of the central bank, I don't care which political party is going to come from. I will advocate. I will run for him because I've seen that man as anti-establishment. He has always said things that rattles the establishment. He has always said progressive things, condemning northerners, the way they keep their people in ignorance, keep their people in penury, keep their people in poverty. He says already. He has even criticized some parts of with the southerners. This for me is a progressive person. If that man comes up, I don't care about age.
But do you think they will let him, though? Because if he's
that is where the problem is. If whichever of the political party wants to win the election, if they use that man, he will win. But the point is this: APC won't let him, PDP won't let him, because those that benefit from the status quo, especially in the north, will do everything possible to fight him, because they will see him as coming to take the food out of their mouth. That's the problem. People like that may never be able to get there. The fact that he was dethroned as emir of Kano shows that the establishment doesn't like him. That is where the trouble is.
So how can the Nigerian government get out of that mindset of someone is coming to take from me and actually get into the mindset of giving? Just like one thing I admire about the Western world, that's Europe and America, is they know that power without the people is useless. So in as much as they are taking for themselves, they still give back to their people, even though their people say they're not giving back enough. But me coming from where I'm from, they are doing a lot here for their people compared to what they're doing for us back home. So how can Nigerian government have that mindset or incorporate the mindset like the Western, even if it's just close to give back to the people a bit? What can you say that would really shake their mindset and their belief?
Yeah, but our only wish, I don't believe in prayers, because prayers don't actually move mountains as
we're going to get into that.
The real truth is that my wish that there will be a small clique of people within a given political party who will hold power if they are able to grab that power and say this is what we are going to do for this nation. China was developed by 3 persons. Deng, as soon as Chairman Mao died, Chairman Mao of China, as soon as he died, then there were the big 4, his wife, Chairman Mao's wife, the army chief of staff, and 2 other powerful persons. There were 4. These people were the conservative communists. And then you have Deng, who was a liberal communist. They needed to open up the economy of China, but the conservatives were not prepared for it. So what did Deng do? They now connived with some other junior military officers, came together. It was a clique of about 4 or 5 of them. They waited until those 4 of them, the big 4, were in the stadium. They were watching a match. I only remember what match it was. It was in that stadium that they arrested the 4 of them, including the wife of late Chairman Mao. As soon as they took them out of the equation, the Chinese started their restructuring. They started their glasnost. It wasn't called glasnost, openness. Chinese before then were not allowed to move from Dublin to even Kidder. If you were born in Dublin, you remain in Dublin forever. If you were born in Kidder,
so they were very conservative.
They were very conservative. Communism did not allow free movement. They couldn't even travel out of their country to any part of the world. You get it? So these people changed that entire structure. As soon as they changed their entire structure, then they began to develop industrial estates, inviting the whole world to come and invest 100% of what you are brought in. Nobody is going to tell you, you just pay your tax, because it was cheap tax, cheap labor. An average Chinese get about $250 a month. It's on top of the world. It's in the middle class. But for you to be in the middle class in Europe, you need about 2,500 to 4,000. So you can imagine more multinationals in Europe, in America, they were all, trooping to China because of cheap labor, cheap cost of production. And they will still bring the things to sell back home. That's how the Chinese got these people in. And then what the Chinese did, you establish a company after about 10 years, Chinese will replicate that company elsewhere. They will come and pluck 1/3 of the total staff of this place and they say, okay, you come there, we'll give you promotion. Okay, you were a manager here, we'll make you a senior manager there. Okay, you were earning about 350 euros there. Okay, we'll give you about 400 here. That's how they transfer technology and indigenized technology in China. That is how because those 4 people were prepared, they had the same mind, the same mindset. They were prepared to, to change it. So if Nigeria is going to change, we need not just one person, we need a group of persons, at least 3 or 4 that have the same mind. They must hold some key position, like the central bank, like the president, like the army chief of staff, and probably one other position who will not say, this is what we want to do for this country. If we don't get such people, that country is not going to move, because all those that are benefiting from the system now will not let it change.
One thing I love about the strategy that China used, which you just said, they would take people from that company and offer them something before giving them the job. I feel like Nigerians is what we need to learn, that habit of giving first before taking. Like one problem about we Nigerians or we Africans is we like to take and receive. We don't, when we want to ask people for help, we don't appease to their own need. We don't tell them, okay, you are going to benefit from this. We just expect people to just give to us and just give to us. This is why I believe we're not moving forward, even as individuals. We expect, oh, you're my friend, you're supposed to do this, parents do this, siblings do this, partners do this. So it's kind of like, the moment we Nigerians, learn to give first before taking, appease to the need of the other person before expecting something in return. I think that's the first step for us, because nothing in this world is free. Nigerians were looking for free things, and in as much as we work our butt off, we still always look for free things, ask for free things. I think it was when I came to this country, I learned something from my boss. Whenever people want to give him something free, he's always like, no, why? And I just looked, I was like, I'm trying to give you something for free, just take it. And one day I asked him, I was like, why are you always refusing free gift? And he said, it was like, I didn't do anything to earn it, so why is he giving me something free? And if he accepts it, he will give them something back in return, like, okay, I'm going to do your seat for you, don't pay me, or I'm going to buy the material for you, don't pay me. So kind of like vice versa. And that day, I was just like, we Nigerians need to learn this. So my next question is, do you think religion would really help Nigeria in moving forward? And if so, how is religion affecting Nigerian growth?
Let me first go back to the analysis you made. It is true. There was a day I went to Aldi here. One woman was short paid. I mean, she had a short payment. What she had was not enough to pay for what, And then one Irish just came and just presented, money to her. But the woman felt embarrassed. She was looking and saying, well, why would you do that? We now had to convince her that this is what we do here in Ireland. You could even do it for somebody in the future. He wants you to have it. That's what we do. And she now said, thank you. But she was embarrassed at that because they were not groomed culturally to accept anything free.
Yeah.
And that is why when boyfriend and girlfriend, they go to the theater, cinema, or stadium, you pay for yourself, and this one pay for herself. And no, it's not as, the man has to do it. Back in Nigeria, the truth is that we need a cultural, reorientation. That cultural reorientation